everybody, this is Deanna with Food Bank Beautiful, and it is Monday, and I hope you guys are having a great start to your week. Today I am going to make 3 dishes for supper tonight. I'm going to make some Spanish rice, I'm going to make some refried beans, and I'm going to make some beef and chicken enchiladas. Not combined, a set of beef and a set of chicken. So one of you suggested that I use this can and make beef enchiladas. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I have large flour tortillas. These are mine, so I'll be using those. And I am also going to make some chicken enchiladas, I think. We'll see how it works. If not, if this is enough, I'll just use this. For the enchiladas, I need tomato sauce, which I do not have. So I am going to cook down a big can of diced tomatoes. I'm going to run them through my blender, and then I will sauce those down until it gets thick and looks like it's tomato sauce. So I'm also going to be using for the enchiladas, some shredded cheddar. That is a food bank item. The tomatoes that I'll be using are a food bank item. So on the chicken enchiladas, the only thing that I'll be using that's mine is the tortillas and some sour cream when we're done, and maybe some avocado if my avocado's ripe, and maybe some of my salsa verde. Okay? Now for the Spanish rice, I will be using my white rice. I will be using turkey broth. I will be using probably some of this picante sauce. And again, if I feel like it, I will add some of the salsa verde. And then the refried beans, I'll just be using my own pinto beans and seasonings and a little bit of oil. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this can and get it through the blender and on the stove so I can start cooking it down to sauce consistency. Okay, now I am going to bring you down here, but I just want you to ignore my messy counters, okay? So, like I said, I don't have any tomato sauce, but I'm going to use what I have, and I want you guys to do the same thing. So all I did here is I just popped it into my little mixer right there, and I'm just going to turn this on and get it to a nice saucy consistency, and then I'm going to put it on the stove and cook it down. Alright, while I have my tomato sauce on the stove behind me cooking down, I'm going to go ahead and start the Spanish rice. Now, I got this recipe from, I think it is allrecipes.com. Okay, allrecipes.com, easy Spanish rice. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of oil in my Dutch oven. I don't know if you guys can see it. 2 tablespoons in that big blue Dutch oven. I'm going to add the onion. I'm going to saute that down. That is going to be the first step. The second step is once that's done, I'm going to add the rice and cook the rice until it begins to turn golden brown. Then I'm going to stir in the broth and the picante sauce. Now, I'm not going to bring you along for all of those steps. I am going to bring you along for the enchiladas, okay? All right, so that's what I'm going to do. And again, you can go to allrecipes.com and view that recipe and decide if you want to make it yourself. All right. All right. I have my Spanish rice cooking in my Dutch oven, and down here is the meat for the beef enchiladas. Now this is a can of that USDA beef and a half a cup of the enchilada sauce. And the enchilada sauce was the packet of enchilada sauce that I showed you. It was the tomatoes that I cooked down to tomato sauce consistency and 1.5 cups of water. So that should be delicious. This should also be delicious. So I will bring you back when it's time to roll those enchiladas. And I think this is so much beef that I'm not going to do chicken tonight. I'm just going to do the beef ones. Okay, we are ready to roll our enchiladas. My Spanish rice is not cooking. My rice is still crunchy and the recipe said 20 minutes. I gave it an additional 10 and a little more liquid, and at the 30-minute mark it's still not good. And so I added another little bit of liquid and gave it another 10 minutes. We will see. Now, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. If that Spanish rice doesn't come out, I'm going to feed it to the chickens and I'm going to serve frozen corn. Now, let's look down here. Here are my tortillas, and I'm using about 1/4 cup of my meat. And this meat is the canned beef and a half a cup of the enchilada sauce. So just like that, I'm going to use quite a handful of cheese. I want these really cheesy. And what I like to do is I like to push everything towards me. Okay, just like so. And then I fold it over. And that gives me lots of room here to roll without the insides coming out. And then I put the seam side down in the pan. Let me do another one for you. I'm going to lay my tortilla out. I'm going to use about 1/4 cup of beef. I'm going to move that towards me. I'm going to add a generous amount of cheese, and we're going to roll it up. I'm going to find the edge, and I'm going to stick that side down in the pan. Okay, let me roll these up for you, and then I will show them to you as we put them in the oven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, well, I'm going to make another one. However, I'm going to make it chicken. And then I've got some corn tortillas. I'll make some of those too until my meat is all used up. So let's go ahead and look down here. This is the chicken and a little bit of the enchilada sauce. And we're just going to mix that together. Like that. I want it to be pretty mixed. I don't want big chunks of meat. Okay, good enough. So for these, I'm going to do it the exact same way. I'm going to use about 1/4 cup of the chicken, maybe a little bit more. I'm going to take cheese. I'm going to roll them up. That's the timer for my Spanish rice. I'll check it here in a minute. And again, I'm going to put my seam side down. All right, I'll be back to you. Okay, I rolled up 2 chicken enchiladas on corn tortillas, and that filled up my pan. So let's look down here. There we go, right there, looks good. So now I'm going to take my enchilada sauce, and I'm just going to go ahead and spread it over the top of my enchiladas. Let's see if we can get it all out. There we go. And there we have it. And then on top of that, because I don't like dry enchiladas, we're going to add the rest of my salsa verde. And I think that is going to be super delicious. Those 2 big pieces of pepper or whatever it is I'm going to take out. Okay. Now we're going to top this with some cheese. That looks really good, you guys. Top it with some cheese. And then I'm going to put foil over the top, and I'm going to bake it at 350 for 30 minutes, and it should be perfect, and we'll eat it with the Spanish rice. I will show you a plate when I'm ready to serve, probably Grandma's plate. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I have Grandma's plate. She has Spanish rice, little green salad with ranch dressing, and here is her enchilada. I'm going to add some sour cream to that, and she should be good to go. I'm going to come back and I'll fix my plate, and then I'm going to go ahead and taste it for you, and hopefully it's good. And even if it's not, it's what's for dinner. Okay, here is my plate. You can see my enchilada, a little bit of green salad, and a little bit of rice. So let's go ahead and do our taste test and see what we think. Now, I'm going to start with the rice. It just dropped twice into my sour cream. Oh, indeed. Here we go. The Spanish rice is good. I like it quite well. Now I'm going to check my enchilada. I do have sour cream and cowboy candy, so I'm going to eat my bite. That looks too big to eat on camera. Take a smaller bite. There is the enchilada. Steam is still coming off of it. It's a little bit hot. It smells good though. Okay, let's see. That is really good. There's no reason in this world why you can't make enchiladas with canned beef. That is really good. So I'm going to go ahead and sit down and eat mine. Grandma's eating, Addie's eating, and that's what's for dinner tonight. Enchiladas, Spanish rice, and a little bit of green salad. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Ta-ta.